My mom told my girlfriend's parents at dinner that I had been a problem child growing up and then asked me to drive her home afterward like nothing had happened. When you spend 3 months working up the courage to introduce your girlfriend to your family, you imagine a lot of scenarios. Awkward silences, weird questions about your job, maybe your dad telling an embarrassing story from high school that makes everyone laugh and moves on. You do not imagine your mother dismantling 5 years of your personal growth in about 45 seconds flat. My name is Jake. I'm 26. My girlfriend's name is Priya. We've been together for 14 months, and she is, without question, the best thing that has ever walked into my chaotic, complicated life. Her parents, Raj and Sunita, are warm, generous people who insisted on hosting a dinner at their home the first time our families would meet. They made an entire spread, 3 hours of cooking, real hospitality. My mom, Linda, had one job: show up and be decent. The dinner started beautifully. Raj was asking me about my work in logistics. Sunita kept refilling everyone's water like it was a sacred duty. Priya was glowing across the table, squeezing my knee under it every few minutes like she was proud of how well things were going. Then Sunita, just making conversation, smiled at my mom and said, "Jake seems like he was such a focused young man. Were you always sure he'd find his path?" A normal mother says yes. A normal mother maybe tells a cute story. A normal mother smiles and takes the compliment on behalf of her child. Linda set down her fork. Focused? She actually laughed. I mean, we had our years. Jake was pretty difficult growing up. School was a constant battle. There were the suspensions, 2 of them, the lying phase, the period where his teachers were calling me every other week. The table went quiet. Not just quiet. That specific quiet where everyone is looking at their plate like it suddenly became the most interesting object in the room. Raj's hand stopped moving. Priya's knee stopped touching mine. I felt something inside my chest go completely cold. My mom kept going. She brought up a counselor I had seen at 15 for anxiety, which she framed as, we didn't really know what was wrong with him for a while. She mentioned a friendship fallout from when I was 17 like it was a personality diagnosis. She talked about me the way you'd describe a used car with hidden damage. Technically functional, but buyer beware. I was sitting right there. Raj eventually said something kind to redirect the conversation. Sunita brought out dessert. Priya reached under the table and held my hand so tight it almost hurt, and I was grateful for that. I was. But I could not stop hearing my mother's voice filling that beautiful dining room with every version of me I had already buried. Here's the part that broke something in me permanently. When dinner ended and people were saying their goodbyes, my mom touched my arm in the hallway and said casually, like we'd just watched a movie together, "Hey, can you drop me home? Your uncle took my car this week." No acknowledgement. No sorry if that was a lot. No reading of the room whatsoever. Just, "Take me home now, son." I looked at her for a long moment. I said, "I'll call you a cab, Mom." She blinked. "What?" "I'll pay for it, but I'm not driving you home tonight." She got quiet and a little wounded looking, which is its own form of manipulation I've known my whole life. Priya walked her to the door. I stood in Raj and Sunita's hallway staring at a framed photo on their wall of Priya at maybe 8 years old, gap-toothed and laughing, completely loved. I cried in Priya's car later, not dramatically, just that quiet kind that happens when something you hoped wasn't true gets confirmed. My mother doesn't see me. She sees a story she's been telling about me since I was a teenager, and she'll tell it at any table, to any audience, forever. Priya held my face in her hands and said, "You are not who she described tonight." I'm still deciding what I do with my mom going forward, but I know one thing clearly now. I am done earning my own introduction.